there's not that many, you know, art marketing agencies, for instance, right? Because it's a very, very hard problem to solve. Selling art and photography is not like selling every other item out there. A lot of tradecraft, a lot of nuance to it. In addition to that, I've been running 3 of these sessions since a little bit before the pandemic, so year and a couple of months now. I don't believe that there's another human being on the planet that talks to more artists and photographers on a week in, week out basis. I have now at this point heard it all, seen it all, you know, niche selection, pricing, sales, Facebook ads, branding, how to negotiate with the galleries, pricing, markup. I have heard and been through all of it over the last year. And in addition to that, we have like a little bit over 5,500 customers now. And one of the things that we do a great deal of is studying the ones that sell the best and studying quite in depth. For instance, who's capturing the most emails? How are they doing that? Excuse me. Who is the best on Facebook? Who is the best on Instagram? What are they posting? What kind of activity are they getting there? Who is selling the most art, period? Who is selling the most classes? Who is selling the most originals? Who's selling the most commissions? Metal prints, canvas prints. And you do all of that collectively. And why am I bringing all of this up? I think I can help you. I think today's Q&A after I'm done with the presentation can be insanely valuable. I think if you're struggling with something, I probably have a solution that can put you on the path. And I mean that in the biggest non-sales pitch way ever. I don't care if you ever do business with art storefronts, if you ever become a customer. I want the session to be valuable. I want to try to get you on a path to growing your art business to where you want it to be. I honestly believe that I can help you. So the Q&A will happen sort of after the presentation, and love for you to think about whatever questions you have, whether you've never sold your art before and you're just trying to get into it, whether you had robust sales pre-pandemic and the pandemic crushed you, whether you're struggling with a question of niche selection, what style should you be doing, or you're struggling with how to price your work, or you're struggling with how to get attention to your work, which, let's be honest, 100% of you guys are struggling with that. Every single solitary artist and photographer is struggling with that. But point being, have your questions ready, and we'll get into the Q&A after the fact. But I want to start with sort of this new concept that I've come up with, and I call it the art selling pyramid, okay? And I sort of stole it from Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I don't know if you've seen this pyramid, right? But in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, um, you've got the physiological needs at the bottom, right? And the concept of the pyramid is you have to sort the blocks on the bottom before you can even contemplate sorting the blocks on the top. And the physiological needs are first, right? We have to eat, we have to sleep, we have to do that daily. That has to happen every single solitary day before we can even contemplate working on safety and shelter and money. And then you go up the thing, and it's love and belonging and esteem and self-actualization. You can become a great person and all of that jazz. So let me give you the art selling pyramid, okay? Borrowed from Maslow. Same thing, pyramid, got to sort the bottom blocks, up we move. And the bottom block, the first block, is attention. And I know, without equivocation, that every single solitary person on this Zoom call has an attention problem. What is attention? It is the eyeballs that you need to be able to sell your work. It is people knowing who you are, seeing your work, interacting with you. And we live in a in a world right now where attention is the currency of the land. It's not dollars, it's attention. You have the attention, you can do anything. Without it, you're not in the game. Does the best art that's being created get sold? No. The best art that's being created that gets seen gets sold. And attention is every single solitary one of our problems. And just like in Maslow's pyramid, you have to sort it daily. You have to be working on getting more of it daily. It is no different than eating and sleeping. And I look at this little pyramid, and a perfect way for me to explain it. Do you know who some of the most powerful women, not just in the United States, are, but in the entire world are? It's the Kardashians. You want to know why? They have attention. Okay. Any one of those women, any of those surgically enhanced women, could decide to start painting stick figures tomorrow and sell $35 million worth of art in the first year. Why? Because they have attention. Okay. They understood what the currency of the land is. When you have the attention, you can do anything. Attention comes in two forms: rented and owned. Rented are YouTube subscribers and Instagram fans and Facebook followers, any social media followers you have on any of those sites. Why is it rented? It's rented because you don't own it. They can change the rules at any time. Still very important, but it's rented. The other kind of attention, the owned attention, really email addresses, most importantly. Secondarily, snail mail. And for some people that do text message marketing, it's phone numbers. But you have to work on building your attention day in, day out. It is a quotidian job. And ultimately, it's the biggest problem that every single solitary one of you on here have. Some of you think you have a website problem. Some of you think you have a pricing problem. Some of you think you have a problem negotiating with galleries. You can't even have any of those problems until you solve the attention problem. The attention problem is the whole ball game. And when you understand it, you start getting intentional. You start working at it. It is no different than eating and sleeping. What did you do to acquire more attention for your work today? If you're not working on that, then you can't even have any of the other problems. Next block. Okay, after we solve the attention situation, we're working on it. It's a constant battle. It never ends. The outside of this block is number 1 and 2 here, and then I'm going to get into the block. Number 1 is the business model. Okay, I believe that an artist or a photographer, if they want to build a successful business, has to understand the business model. The business model is selling direct, by which I mean you, the artist, the photographer, selling directly to your end customer. You retain the data on your end customer such that you are able to market to that customer in perpetuity. Many people, the way that the industry worked traditionally forever, it was people that did not retain this information. They sold through galleries, or maybe they did the show in their circuit, but they weren't the best at keeping up with these people and marketing to them in perpetuity. I got this book that I cite all the time, and it's by Weiland. Weiland is the whale guy. Okay, and don't worry, I'm going to send you links to this. But he wrote this book. He sells it directly on his website. He's depending on who you talk to, he's the #1 selling artist in the entire United States, probably even the world, to be honest with you, because of his business model and what he's done. And he talks in that book about this concept called a collector list. Okay, and for Weiland, a collector list are buyers of his art that sell or that buy in upwards of 7+ pieces over the course of a lifetime, and he treats this collector list like VIP. They are his collectors might as well be staying in the Four Seasons. He reaches out. He gives them special access to things. He likes their social media posts, and he continues to build that list. Okay, and fundamentally, it is one of the single solitary most important things any art or photography business can have. Collectors surface, you market to them in perpetuity, your prices continue to go up, they go along for the ride. Some of these people will buy in upwards of 20 and 30 and 40 pieces throughout the course of your life. And if you are not building that list, it's sort of like you're working a job and you're not putting any money away in a retirement account. It's almost like a 401k that just pays every single solitary year. And I can go into some detailed examples, but the goal is you come out with a new series. You have a show, right? Whether it's a photographic series or it's the series that you painted. You'll start out, and your collector list will maybe buy 2% of the show or 5% of the show, and your goal is just to build that list such that the percentage of the work that they buy goes up and up and up. And I've seen customers that I've worked with recently where 40 to 50% of the show is bought before anyone even sees it by their collectors, just gone. So you created 20 pieces, 10 are gone instantaneously because you have been cultivating a collector list, because you understand the business model. Okay, and it is, I mean, we're going to get into it, but it is so fundamental. And I've been doing this for a long time now. Okay, I've talked to a lot of people, and it breaks my damn heart because on a regular basis, people are coming on these calls. Okay, and they're in their late 40s, late 50s, late 60s, late 70s. They are at the top of their game. They have honed their craft to the greatest it's ever going to be. And guess what? They didn't understand the business model. And guess what? They didn't keep a collector list. And so guess what? The pandemic hit and all their offline revenue sources, poof, are gone. And they're coming on this call and they're going, Patrick, and this is how I envisioned it. They had the corner office, floor to ceiling windows, the giant executive desk, the big leather chair. And I'm telling them, I'm sorry, you're out of there and you have to go back to the mailroom and you're pushing the cart because you did not cultivate this list. Okay, you did not keep a collector list. You did not work on your marketing. You did not understand the business model. What do you have now? You have nothing. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Wait the pandemic out? Like half the galleries are closed. The ones that are still open are renegotiating the split from 50-50 to 60-40 because they have 100 different artists that they want to pick from. Go back on the show and their circuit. That's wonderful. That does not pay if it's not at 100% attendance. How long is it going to take for the show and their circuit to get back to 100% attendance? We don't know, but it's not going to be instantaneous, right? So Really, really passionate about the business model. Really, really passionate about the collector list. I don't. I think the minute you understand that, boy, are you in a great place. Boy, are you in a great place. You're building it. It takes time. Okay, that's the outer shell. The inside of the block. 3 ways to sell art. There are 3 ways to sell art. Okay, every single solitary artist, my argument, and photographer needs to understand the 3 ways to sell art and needs to be applying them in their business. Number one, best way to sell art. Trick question of sorts. Everyone knows the best way to sell art. It's in person, face to face. It always has been. It always will be. Okay. In person, face to face is the best way to sell art. Anytime you have the ability to sell art that way, you do that. Problem, we are all of us geographically fixed on this planet. We all have to sleep. We can't have 15 conversations at once. So the third way to sell art, and I say third because it's the least important, is via your website. You absolutely have to have a website. The website solves for these problems when you're asleep, 15 people at a time, and for many of the geographic problems. The second way to sell art, okay, the newest way to sell art, the one the entire art selling world is trying to figure out right now, the greatest advancement in selling art since forever is exactly what we're doing right now. It is selling art via live video in either a one-to-one fashion or a one-to-many fashion. A one-to-one fashion, I go to Antonio's website. Antonio, these pieces are very interesting. What is that one behind you? I would like to buy it. Can we talk about it? Antonio goes, Patrick, no problem. Let me set up a Zoom call with you. I'll show you a couple of pieces and we can talk about it. I can get to know you. That is the one-to-one fashion. The one-to-many fashion, okay, which is mega interesting as well, is this concept of a live art show, okay? And what am I doing? There we go. So I have a couple examples of this I'm going to show. This is a painter in his garage studio. He has some works that he's trying to sell. He is streaming this to Instagram. He is streaming this to Facebook. He's streaming it to YouTube. He is holding the works up. He's talking about them. People can leave comments. They can purchase them. This is one particular type of these sales. This is a customer and a good friend of ours named Matthew Locke. We've run a number of these different initiatives with him. In addition, okay, to this concept of doing it in your studio, what happens if you have an actual show? He had an actual show in the middle of the pandemic. Now, attendance was limited. A bunch of people couldn't travel, so the attendance to the show was light. He still sold a bunch of stuff. The day after the show, what do? We turn the cameras on. He grabs a glass of wine, wears this ridiculous sleeveless shirt. I always make fun of him for the sleeveless shirts. I can't help it. I think it's funny. And what is he doing? He's walking through the show, and you notice people are leaving comments. We're highlighting the comments. He's walking through the show. He's explaining each of the pieces, okay? So my point in showing this is the new, and I've got another one here too. I can rattle through so many examples. This is crazy, but this is absolutely the future of selling art. It is the next best way. And when we contemplate, let me mute this, but I'll just give you something to stare at while I rant here. You know, if selling art in person, face to face, is the best way to sell art, then okay, everything that we do digitally tries to get as close as possible to that, okay? And what would be the ideal way to sell art? Let's just say it's an art gallery that you have that you own in your hometown, okay? People can come in, they can get to know you, have a conversation, they can buy the art. For all the people that can't geographically do that, the next best way is this via live video. Again, one-to-one or one-to-many, a group show, right? And it's so close to the real thing, it's amazing. You don't have to leave your hometown. They get to know you. They get to interact with you. They feel like they have a bond with the artist. It is the future, full stop. And what's interesting is the entire world is trying to figure this out right now, okay? The entire art selling world is trying to figure it out. Your industry doesn't have a lot of reports. There's two big ones, okay? There is the Art Market 2021 report. They do one of these each year. It's from Art Basel and UBS. I'm going to send you links to the report. I want you to read it. It's amazing. It's incredible. The disclaimer on it is these guys report on the top 1% of the art selling market, right? Like the highest of the high end. The top auction houses in Christie's, the top auction houses and the top art selling dealers and the top galleries and stuff. But the report is still very, very relevant, okay? And the link we'll send you. You can download the entire report, which I recommend you do. I think you'll find it really insightful. But they have these key findings too, which is like this snazzy little web page they built to talk about it. And so I can go in here, I can explore this thing. They've got some lovely little graphs. But you read this report, and what they call it, and I'll quote, Chapter 5 looks at the online art market and the rapid evolution in sales in 2021. The chapter shows how the dealer sector shifted sales online in 2020 and the development of online viewing rooms, OVRs. Do you know what online viewing rooms are? A snooty way to talk about a Zoom call, okay? A snooty way to talk about exactly what we are doing right here, right now. So, this is the future of how to sell art in an incredible fashion. I always feel like a bit of a Yahoo to share numbers, but I'm going to share numbers because it's going to give this whole entire thing some teeth. Okay, so Matthew Locke, longtime customer, great friend, normally does the full dog and pony gallery shows. In the middle, so this was on June 9th, 2020. He did 2 of these over a 15-day period. He sold 62 pieces for a little bit over $30,000 Canadian. From his basement, no 50-50 split, direct, didn't have to leave. This is his garage studio. It's where he paints. Didn't even leave his living room. This gal, Meg, also a customer, she was moving studios, legitimately moving studios from one studio to another. This was about a month ago that we ran this. And, just to underscore my collector list, okay? This particular sale was teased on a Friday. On Monday, she emailed her collector list. Her collector list bought 46% of the show. She sold a little bit less than, I think, 76 different pieces for $15,000. Now, the pieces in this particular show were like the color studies, right? They weren't like the full buttoned up pieces. I'm trying to get to one where she's actually holding one. There were color studies, there were sketches, there were smaller works, right? Stuff that was just involved in it. But the point is, this is absolutely the future. It is such an incredible way to sell art and photography. The entire world is trying to figure it out. You get people using various different, at the snooty end, it's OVRs, online viewing rooms, or the art fairs and shows that are trying to keep the booth deposits. What's their line that they love? We're going to have a virtual art show, right? Everyone is trying to figure this out right now. I do not know what floor this particular elevator is going to go to. My guess is it's going to go very high. What I'm saying is right now, this elevator is on the ground floor and the doors haven't even closed yet. The whole world's trying to figure this out. And there is so much tradecraft to it, I can't even begin to tell you. This particular Zoom call, I have all you guys in a Zoom call right now, right? This is also being streamed to 2 YouTube channels, to a Facebook channel, to Twitter, all at once, all simultaneously. Everyone is trying to figure this out, and it is the most effective way to sell art, period. And so step 1 is becoming aware of it. Step 2 is starting to practice it and put it into practice. And I guarantee there's probably not a single solitary person on this call that is doing it. And people ask, what is it that you do at Art Storefronts? We teach our customers how to sell art and photography in the most advanced ways possible. And because I don't care, 90%, I tell people these things, 90% of the people will never, ever even do it. So I don't even care to give away the tradecraft. I'll give away the tradecraft right now. So my sleeveless associate here, Matthew, is using wireless Apple AirPods connected to his iPhone, which has this stream going out live on Instagram. We are leveraging software that is streaming it, that's putting in this little title here, right? And his logo and the banner at the bottom to inquire, and it's pulling the comments in. So cell phone, earpods connected to Instagram on the phone, laptop, computer, Facebook, personal Facebook, YouTube account, all of that goes down all at once simultaneously. And you can see there's numbers here. If the number 2 thing goes away, he's even got little numbers here. Why? Because the people on Instagram can't see the graphics that we have on the screen. And so they need to know, okay, was that number 2 or number 3? You can't really see it, but it's like right behind here. There's like a little thing. Yeah, there it is. See, number 5. And we're on number 5. So everyone knows. There's a million little things like that. What is the best combination of the technology? How do you announce it? What do you do during the course? And don't worry, I'm going to send you guys, I'm going to send you these shows after the fact so you can watch them and pick up what you like. But this is absolutely the future, you guys, and it is completely changing the game. And you don't need to leave your house, and there are no booth fees, and there's no loading up the car and driving somewhere and staying in some crappy hotel and eating crappy food and then hoping you're going to see an ROI. There is no limit to the amount that you can run. It is the most beneficial use, highest ROI use of an artist or a photographer's time I could even imagine right now. It's not even close. And again, whole world's trying to figure it out. So those are the 3 ways to sell art. I got to get back to my pyramid. You have to be running all 3. And you have to be doing all three consistently all year long. So we start by constantly gathering attention. We start by recognizing the business model, collector list, as well as the 3 ways to sell art. Then we get to the top of the pyramid, which is everything else. What do I mean, everything else? You have a brick and mortar gallery that's working out for you, that's bringing in revenue to your business. Fantastic. We love revenue. I have never met a revenue source I don't like. Keep it going. But it's in addition, okay, not in lieu of working on attention, not in lieu of working on the 3 ways to sell art and building your own collector list. What if it's an online gallery? Maybe it's Saatchi or Fine Art America or Redbubble or Etsy or any of the others. Is it bringing in revenue? Fantastic. I've never met a revenue source I don't like, but it's in addition to everything else, okay? It's in addition to getting your own attention. It's in addition to the 3 ways of selling art. So too, if you're doing the show and Thayer circuit, we love the show and Thayer circuit. It's fantastic. I can't wait for it to come back. It is a great way to build attention, but it's in addition to those two. You understand this pyramid, okay? You start working on this pyramid, and you are going to be on the path towards building a successful art or photography business. You don't, and you don't control the rules. You do not control the stakes. You can have the rug ripped out from underneath you at any point in time, which I've seen again and again and again on these calls. And you know, one of the things that no one talks about, okay, and does not get mentioned enough. 3 of these a week for a year and a half, okay? It's not hyperbole. That many of them. Every single solitary week, there are people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and I would say once every 2 weeks, somebody in their 90s comes in on these calls asking questions. And so why do I bring that up? Understand the perspective of how long you guys are going to be artists and photographers selling your art or photography, okay? You guys don't go through midlife crises. Doesn't happen to creatives. You don't decide all of a sudden you're going to stop being a painter and you're going to go rent jet skis in Florida for the summer and that's going to be your job, okay? So when you have the perspective figured out that you are going to be working at this for the rest of your life into your 90s in many cases, it underscores how important it is to understand this pyramid, to start working on this pyramid. And guess what? It's not going to be easy at first if you're just getting started. It's going to be a pain in the butt. You know, I'm looking at Rick there, and Rick, if you have not been building that list the entire time, when I'm telling you, you have to learn how to email market and social media market, and you need to start doing it on a regular basis, that could be frustrating, but it's not frustrating when you got another 25 years of growth in this doggone business. So what does Art Storefronts do at the end of the day? We teach you how to do the pyramid. Yeah, we give you a website. And yeah, we put you into a university where there's no graduates because the learning never stops. That's really, in a nutshell, who we are, what we do. All right, guys, thanks for indulging me on the pre-recorded video. I promise that's better than I probably would have done if I did it in person. Do I see myself?
Let's see you.
Yep. I always forget to press that button. There you go. Okay, I'm back. So we can get into the Q&A, talk about just about anything that you would like to talk about. I think broadly, all of you guys need to be made aware, if you're not already, about the season that we're in right now, right? And every single solitary year it comes around, Q4, the last 3 months of the year, and traditionally they are the biggest art selling months of the year by quite some margin. For us, if you took all of our customers, and you know, we'd been in business for 7 years with artists. We sort of started with print studios, but anyway, it's a different story. Traditionally, what happens with us is if you take the average of everything that's sold, and to keep the number really simple, we'll just call it 1, across all the artists and photographers on our websites. If you took the average of the sales of September, August, and then you looked at October, November, December, and the number is 1. Let's just say that average. Sales double in October, and we've seen a little bit higher than that this year. They triple in November, and then they do a 1.5 multiple in December, usually based on the fact that, you know, you can sell up until like a week before Christmas, and then pretty much everyone's got their gifts. So it's the most important time, really, in many ways of the year to be doing some marketing, to let people know that you exist, to let people know that you have art for sale, that you have creations for sale, and then to run a sale when the time is appropriate. And November is the most important month in all of it. And even if none of you guys ever sign up for art storefronts, the one takeaway is just please understand it's the most important month. Please attempt to do something a little bit differently, which is 99% of artists and photographers let the fourth quarter come and go, and they barely do anything. You know, we poll our customers and say, how many of you actually done like active Q4 marketing, the ones that have just signed up, and it's almost none of them. So I know it's probably the case with most of you guys too. Like Black Friday and Cyber Monday are real. They're some of the biggest e-commerce holidays in the United States every single solitary year, and that was pre-COVID. COVID came along and ushered in essentially 10 years of normal e-commerce growth and penetration as a percentage of total sales. 10 years of growth happened essentially in 6 weeks, depending on what expert you talk to. And a lot of people are not going back. We're not going back to the good old days where we didn't order as much online. So you guys have a genuine opportunity this month to start marketing. If you've never marketed at all, if you've never sent an email, if you've never even let anyone know you sell art, that's problem number one, okay? Problem number two is do some normal non-salesy marketing, okay? Show pictures of you holding your art. Talk about it. Talk about what your inspiration is, and then shut up. Don't say anything else. Do not say sale. Do not say buy now. Do not say any of that, okay? Get to a week or a week and a half in front of Black Friday and tease the fact that you're going to be having a sale. Hey, guys, just wanted to let you know to celebrate Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I'm going to be having a big sale in a week, and then run the sale. You can't lose. You honestly cannot lose with that strategy because that's 100% of you are likely not doing that, period. Okay? Now is the time to do it. And I would be so remiss if I didn't just at least pound that urgency in, and however you have to do it, right? Like, if you sign up with us, great. You're going to be covered. We're going to give you the whole playbook. But let's talk about those of you that are not. Grab the phone, okay? Go on to Facebook or Instagram where you have the most people. As soon as this session is over, and take a photo of yourself holding up your creations and start letting people know you exist ahead of the biggest art selling freaking holidays of the entire year. It's not even close. And it's going to be better this year than it was even last year because no one's gone back to the offices really still. I mean, almost, you know, more so certainly than the last time this year, but people are still by and large at home for the most part, right? And when you're at your house all day long, it turns out you're sick or tired of staring at the blank white walls, right? You'd like to spice things up. You'd like to spice up your Zoom background. Okay. Somebody have a Zoom background sale this weekend. Hey, guys. I've been on Zoom calls with many of you, and I've seen your backgrounds, okay? They're boring. They're boring. I want to help you out. I'm running a Zoom sale. Show 5 pieces. Talk about the price. Call it the Zoom background sale, right? Like, do that. Do anything. The only way you can lose in this month as an artist or a photographer trying to sell your creations is by not doing anything, okay? By not at least getting in the game. So I'd be remiss if I didn't fire you out for this month because it's huge. It's huge. This is the month to be doing it. But what else? Yeah, I think that's it. I'll save some of my rants for a little bit further in. But let's get into the Q&A. Let's talk about the Q&A, how the Q&A goes down. If you're one of the brave ones, and thank you, Rebecca, for being brave, that has the camera on, if you have a question, you can raise your hand old school style, and I'll see it. But for everybody else, there is this little reactions button at the bottom of your Zoom bar. And what that allows you to do is raise your hand digitally speaking. And that lets me know, hey, you've got a question, and then I can unmute you. You can turn your camera on or not. Okay, I hate being on video. I totally understand if you don't want to be on video. It's all good. If you feel like just throwing your question in the chat, you can do that. If you're one of the ones that are watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, I will see your comments, so you can leave a comment. And I'd love to address that and get into that. Yeah, what else? I don't know. There's no one else I can pick on, Rebecca, because you're the only one that has a camera on. So, do you have a question? I'm gonna unmute you. See, you do. See, there we go. Someone's always got to start it, Rebecca. Someone's always got to start it.
So we're diving in. My husband's a content writer. I'm the artist.
Okay.
We've only been at this about a month. The question is, we're sort of going back and forth. Is it ever too soon to do the live auction?
No.
I mean, right now, my
No.
Facebook and my Instagram are still all connected to my kids and my pictures of my children from the last 4 years. So we're
That's totally okay. That's totally okay. Like,
but I'm like, well, do I make that public to get more people? But
yes.
Say I don't. Is it too soon to say, hi mom, hi dad, hi cousin Myrtle? You know,
no.
I'm going to do a live auction, or do I?
Yeah, don't call it an auction because it's not 49. Yeah, just call it a live art show. But
live art show, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know if it sounds like you've had some awareness of us, but step one for you, have we sold our work to people not named mom, dad, brother, sister, family, friends yet? I think we lost you. I think you're Okay, now we got you back. It kind of went frozen and wonky. What I'll probably do, because I can tell you kind of have crappy connections, I'm just going to stop your video. I'm going to stop your video, and then the audio will be clean. Okay, so I stopped your video. So tell me again, have you sold art, photography?
I have. Did well as a student, have sold some after, but since having kids, I've just been
I hear that.
Ghost for 4 years.
Yes, I hear that. I have a couple of those too, and they drive me nuts. All right. So if you the broad picture is, as long as you sold art to strangers, you sort of have passed the threshold of knowing you have a product the market wants. Once you've gotten past that, then you just have a marketing problem like all the rest of us. So early on, and the reason I bring that up is because, let's say you have a Facebook page, you have an Instagram account, you've kept both of those private and locked down, so you're not letting anyone in. Everyone's in there, knows you.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to start with them. It's okay to start with them, especially early on. And also too, none of them have any damn idea that you're getting back into this. They don't know, because they have lives and they're busy too, right? And they're not checking in on you every single solitary moment of every day. So you grab a piece and just be like, all right, guys, Black Friday, Cyber Monday are coming up.
That's right.
The holidays are right around the corner. You probably didn't realize, because I've been raising children, I'm an artist. Right, I'm getting back in the game, and then just run that baby and go through your 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different pieces, show it to everybody, and then email it to everybody else after the fact.
Okay, great.
It's quite literally that easy. I'm even going to send you a guide. So, where is this thing? Hold on, I'm going to pull it up. And I'll send this to everybody that's on here because it's awesome. Do I have it? I thought I had it up. Oh yeah, I do. Okay, so I made this thing, okay? It's gnarly. When I say it's gnarly, okay? Where is it? Hold on, I gotta do this to get the thing working. All right, let's get it working. So look at this, okay? How to run live art shows at 2021, a quick start live guide. We were gonna have like a big contest as a business to get people to sign up and this and that, and like the whole outreach department was like, dude, we are too busy. If you do this, we'll kill you. So I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to do it, but this thing lays out the whole ball game. Okay, it explains the who, what, when, where, why, and all of that you need to see. It shows you real results from real people. Okay, their actual fan counts, their actual followers. I didn't link to them because you don't do that when you want people to stay on a landing page, but you can just Google their name. Okay, there's like little trailers of their actual shows, not the whole shows, but just like little trailers.
Give it a second to spin up, Matthew, and then you can get started.
Oh, that's interesting. I helped him on that one. Anyway, there's all of that. Okay, so good explanation. And do you know what you're going to be saying after you run your first one? Tell us, Rob.
I just want to give everyone a little hoorah. I did my first live show last night, and I went really, really great. And I was
which is exactly what you're going to be saying after you run your first one. Okay. Then in the bullet points are really important. It'll like kind of give you some indication. The way that this thing is set up is you have to put your email in there to get it. I already have your email address, so because you guys all logged into this. But I'm sorry, that's the way it is. You just fill out this box, and then it redirects you to a page, and I have like step-by-step videos that show you all this stuff, which is sort of crazy. What's on here too? A 2 of our new live. Oh yeah. So there's some good stuff on here. I'm gonna put this in the chat. Hold on. And then April.
Is it a good idea to do the live sale on Black Friday? Like, I don't know.
I like getting a little bit ahead of it. I mean, the short answer is yes to all of the above. As long as you tell me you're doing it, I'm on board. Okay, I am on board because I know it takes motivation and a push to do it. But yeah, I usually like getting ahead of time. I always say on these things, like, when I was a kid, things used to be civilized. Okay. You would go enjoy a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family. There would be something called Black Friday the day after that some people would go deal with, and then it'd be over. And then it would just be whatever for Christmas. If you're me, you would procrastinate till the absolute last minute and buy your Christmas gifts, and then we would get on with our lives. Then what happened? Then all of a sudden, Cyber Monday. Somebody invented that one out of whole cloth just to extend the buying period. A very smart marketer, hat tip to whoever it was. Once that was done, now we have Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Traditionally, Black Friday, biggest e-commerce holiday in the United States, period. Next biggest is Cyber Monday, okay? Prime Day is sort of getting in there now. Also a holiday invented out of thin air. Then what happened though? Okay, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I could deal with that. Then a whole bunch of businesses were like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna move that Black Friday sale up a week, and we're gonna call it the pre-Black Friday sale. And all it took was one person to do that, and now there's 500 people doing that. So really, Halloween ends, and the party just starts. Everyone is just start doing the blitzkrieg, and you know, the crazy thing about it is, it gives us, okay, the small guys, okay, the solopreneurs, okay, the ones marketing in the trenches, it gives us a genuine opportunity to water ski behind one of the biggest whipped up frenzies of advertising blitz any of us could ever hope to see. Unless we live under rocks, we are all affected by it. Every billboard, every radio announcement, satellite radio, podcast, TV, YouTube, whatever, is just nothing but buy. Deals, buy one, get one free, expires Friday, 40% off, 50%, you know, and don't think that doesn't have a psychological effect on all of us. It absolutely does, and it gets all of us just a little bit closer to pulling that credit card out of the wallet. So that's why it's just crazy. I mean, the whole month in November is just a blitz. So long-winded way of saying, doesn't matter to me when you run it, Rebecca, just run it. And I want you to send me a link when you do.
Okay.
And if you get good results, come back and sign up.
Okay.
Deal?
Yep.
Good. I like it. And I like the husband-wife team. It helps to have some help.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Any others? Questions? No, you're good? Go, if you think of another one, raise your hand again.
I do.
Okay. All right. The only other ones I can pick on are the ones that have their cameras on. So Diana, Bill, I'm looking at you. Okay. Bill's ready to go. Good. Diana, you can think if you've got one. You're unmuted, Bill. You have to. Yep. Gotcha.
Yeah, I have a question about when you're talking about these live art shows, which
Yes.
is fascinating.
Yes.
You do print on demand stuff, because I have a lot of works on paper. They're small, they're drawings and stuff.
No. Use those. That like, you know, there's no rules broadly speaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can do whatever you want, and
right.
But the concept of, you know, did you watch the whole thing ahead of time? Did you see the basement sale? My buddy Matthew came up with that name, and it was really, really smart. And he's like, he's a painter in Canada, and he's had like 50 works in some like shed in his garage or something like that, or in the back of his house. And so he called it the basement sale, you know, to kind of like, one, it's a sale. Two, it's clearing out all this old stuff that like taps into like some deep human desire to pull over and go into a garage sale. So you can totally do that with the works that you have and give it a shot. But some people do POD and get incredible results. Like I've never seen anything like it my entire life, how effective it is. And I think partially it really is effective of the technology, but like on that webpage I was showing you, I also know partially it's effective because none of you guys do any damn marketing. You all suck at merchandising. None of you ever hold up your work and talk about it and talk about your inspiration unless you have a live art show. And so just forcing you guys to do that, like there just seems to be low-hanging fruit every time. So I would grab what you have, say everything must go, no reasonable offer refused, and give it a shot. And I would definitely check out that webpage that I just sent you in the chat.
I will.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And you know, I got like major bragging points on this. Hold on, I'm pulling it out. It's gonna take me a second. But you know, we figured it out very early on into the pandemic. Like, oh my gosh, this is going to be really, really like a big thing. And then so we started running one after another, and we started going crazy with it. We've run hundreds of them now at this point. But what's amazing is there's so much you can still learn. You just keep getting better and better and better. And I'm trying to pull up this show, and I want to show you her page because she said I could share her results, and they're just absolutely phenomenal. And, you know, anyone that's been on any of these things for any period of time, you know that I find the gallery relationship to be a tenant farmer type of relationship, utterly, totally, and completely exploitative to the artist. It actually infuriates me to no end. I want every single solitary person selling direct, whether you sign up with us or not. It's got nothing to do with me. Just because it's exploitative. It is absolutely exploitative to take a 50-50 split and not know who your customers are. Okay, well then great, Patrick. That's wonderful. How the hell am I going to sell my art? The fact that you can do this from your house or your garage or your wherever and get the kind of results that you can get, staggering. I'll send you this one. Disclaimer on this one, okay? This is sort of unbeknownst to me, but I'll give you it. Point being, it helps when you have a marketing moment attached to what you're doing. So she is a wild horse photographer. There are still literally wild horses running in some western states. The ranchers and farmers are over it. They do not want these things running around anymore, and so they're encouraging the federal government to cull these animals. Okay, well, everyone that loves horses is stir-fried angry right now. So it's a hot button item, right? So right place, right time. But she did this show. This was her third show, okay? And she did it in conjunction. She did it like there's one of these horses is named Blue Zeus, and it's like a known personality, and they were going to cull him, and they saved him, whatever. So she did it in conjunction with this charity, okay? And this was the third show she ran. And let me just see if I can pull up results. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it on this drive. She's when you know, everyone always talks about like, oh, that's awesome. Can you talk about the numbers? When you see these numbers, I am telling you, staggering, not normal. Like, this is just not a normal thing. She ran her first show. Her first ever show was in March. And I'm pulling it up here, so just bear with me. Her first ever show is in March. Her second show is in June. And then that last one, hopefully it'll let me see this. Okay, good. I think I got it. So look at this. First show, 3/24, so March 24th. Had no idea what she was doing. We helped her out on the show a little bit. Not terrible, right? 6 pieces, $1,800, $303 average order value. Second show, 3 months later, 49 pieces, $136 average order value, $6,600. That last show, the one I was showing you, I'm going to send you the link, $27,000. And that was on 10/7, so a couple weeks ago now. So just absolutely phenomenal results. No 50-50 split with anyone, right? Like, you know, I'm just amazed by it. If you hear the passion in my voice, it's because I've never seen any. I've been doing this a long time, and I've never seen a marketing technique come out of the gates that's just this effective. It's just insane. So I feel like I was really, Bill, you got me ranting there. I apologize. But I'll unmute you again, Bill. I don't know if you have a follow-up.
No, that's fine. And I think, I mean, I try to just through a shop in town to doing a giclée print of a drawing, which I really like the results.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sort of figuring out how to talk about. I do one of these, as you say, an online art show, holding up stuff, talking about it, and just mention, you know, I guess just deal with the complications because I haven't yet signed up. I'm going to do a demo of your system and so on. But assuming I don't, I'm might be a little short on the upfront cash. Is just to say, well, I do these both as, you know, originals and as giclée prints. So, you know, just so you know, and not even bring up the sale thing. But I don't know. It's just something I'm trying to work out.
Yep. It doesn't matter to me as long as you do one.
Okay.
This weekend.
All right. No, can do.
This weekend, Bill. This weekend. Because otherwise you're going to talk about it and think about it. Nah. It's so simple. Yeah. It's so simple. Like, get 10 pieces, turn this thing on, hold them up, start talking. You'll probably screw up. Your dog's going to come running in. You might spill something. You know, my favorite thing, by the way, is, okay, I do this for a living. I'm allowed to laugh every once in a while. We can't laugh at ourselves. How can we not laugh? Instagram films this way, right? Our TVs, we look at this way, right? So multiple times I've had customers do their first one and not think through.
Sideways.
So this piece is a lovely one that I created. And they go through the whole thing that way, and you have to turn your head sideways.
So now, a question on doing this: are you shooting? If I'm doing this vertically,
yes.
Am I filming directly through the Instagram app, or
yes.
am I doing the video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And in
How
that
long is that video going to be?
Doesn't matter. Just get the first one in the water, right? It's like, you know, the first time you do it, it's like, Bill, I'm trying to teach you how to ride a bike, okay? And what everyone's tendency is to do, okay, well, what kind of bike do I need? What's the best time to go riding the bike? Do I need to put playing cards in the spokes? How do I stop? No, don't worry about any of that. You're going to fall. Just get on a bike, start pedaling, and see what happens, right? Don't worry about anything else. Whatever happens will be fantastic. And
well, at least you spared me from doing the thing sideways, because I would have.
Yes, and just don't worry about holding it. Just stand it up on something. Lean it against a Coke can if you don't have a stand, right? Like anything, like, you know.
I do have a stand.
Okay. Yeah, you get a stand. It'll totally work. And
now I sort of understand that sort of I've heard that sort of people are interested in, you know, the environment you make things in. So actually I mean, the fact that you can see where this is part of the room where I do my work. I might close the closet to conceal my clothes, but that people are interested in the idea of people making in this messy environment. I mean, to let that happen, or I could really try and clean things up. I don't have a clean, tidy space.
Oh, let me tell you how important a clean, tidy space is. Every single solitary one of us has an unclean and tidy space. Let me get my little thing pulled up here and just go through this. I love doing this for motivation and inspiration for everyone. All right, hold on, I gotta care.
I love this one. So I hope somebody.
Normal space. Normal space. Trees blowing outside the windows. Windows. Normal space. Normal space. Karen's kind of legit. She's got kind of a nice space. This is probably the bad one to show. Okay. Normal space, normal looking human being, right? Normal space, normal looking human being. I love this one because he's a surf photographer, right? In his garage, boards all racked up on the wall, skateboards racked up on the wall. We all have garages, right? The space is just so irrelevant. I mean, you know, if you want to, film it tight in front of a wall. We all have at least a blank wall in the house, right? Like, you know, the point of it is don't overthink it. You know, just ship it. You got to just ship it. I love this one. Hold on. I just noticed this the other day. I love her. She had a glass of wine and it's just a bomber. We sort of encourage people to, like, you know, make it kind of like it would be like, you know, a gallery event. And so you have your glass of wine. I mean, look at the bomber that she poured herself right there. Amazing. It makes me laugh. But yeah, don't overthink about it. Don't stress. You know, you can do it.
Got it.
Good stuff. And send me the link after you do. I'm serious.
What?
I gotta hold you accountable.
No.
That's part of what we do over here, right? You know, I make these jokes, and thank you, Bill. I make these jokes on. Well, it's not jokes, but I realized like our business, aside from the website, is really fundamentally just to make successful artists and photographers, to do everything that we can to create the circumstances such that you're going to be a success and your business is going to continue to grow. And what I've realized, in order to do that, the most effective way that I can do that as a marketing department, as leading a team at Art Storefronts, is attack the starving artist problem the exact same way that we attack weight loss, right? And pretty much all of us have tried to lose weight at some point in time in our life. And what do we know? It's a two-pronged deal. Diet and exercise. You don't do both, you're not getting away with it, right? You're not going to lose any weight. Okay. How does that apply to making it as an artist or photographer? 1, you need to be taught to market. 2, you need moral support. Not kidding. Moral support, accountability, tech support, right? Emotional bucking up when you're low. Can I do this? Yes, you can do this. Get it done today. That is literally the most effective way. If I'm the general and like, what's the number one way to get my troops to win? I have to do the marketing. I have to teach them to market, and then I have to give them the emotional support, because it's freaking lonely being a solopreneur. You know, you don't have a whole staff. I mean, Rebecca has a husband. Most people just have a partner that are like, okay, yeah, great, do great with that. But it's, you know, it's a lonely road being an entrepreneur in every capacity. So, yeah, that's what I would say. So the moral support, you know, exactly like, you know, it would start with, Bill, you're running it this weekend. And then you would get a call at like 5:15, a text message. Can't wait to see you do that thing, Bill. And then Saturday morning, I'd be like, all right, Bill, don't worry about it. Don't psych yourself up. Just do it. It doesn't matter if only your mother is watching, okay? I don't care. You're going to email your list after the fact. And then, you know, with that support, it gets you over the line and it gets you to actually do it. It's like such an important part of what you guys need to grow your business, because the industry's hard. Okay, Monique, you're up next. Yep, I can hear you, Monique. Go ahead.
Okay. Hello, Patrick, and thank you so much for always doing these lives for us.
Well, it's my pleasure.
I just to tell you that I was on the call on Wednesday, okay, and much like you did today, you was like, just do the art show, the art show.
Yeah.
And I watched the validation video.
Okay.
And I said, I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
Yes.
And so that's what I did. And so I, just like the guy on your video, I am still just
Oh no, we lost you right when you were going to say how awesome it was. That was like the most perfectly timed cutout. I mean, that was like Hollywood studio designed. Right when she was going to say how awesome an experience it was. Oh, boo. What a bummer that is. Yeah, Monique, I'm going to stop your video. Looks like you already did. And let's see if we can get you back. It shows me your connection is a little, it's showing me the red bars. Oh, doggone it. I feed off of those. She was going to tell me how awesome it was. One thing you can do, Monique, just pop out and pop back in. Sometimes that works. Okay, Jeff, you're up next. Go ahead, Jeff. And you'll need to unmute. Yep, gotcha.
Okay. Thank you, Patrick, for today's show.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I find it very interesting. I'm kind of an amateur and slowly evolving into a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
So much so, I have a book being released next month.
Well, congrats. Did you self-publish, or you went the traditional publisher route? How'd you do it?
I have a publisher. It's all I have approved: front cover, back cover, acknowledgments, and so on,
Good for
and
you.
photos. It's 131 pages.
Amazing.
Hardcover, and it is about sunsets.
Awesome.
And I did this only because I've had so many friends on Facebook, Instagram, what have you, say, you should do this, you should do this. And I think I did it maybe just to keep them quiet.
Yeah.
But again, so I did this, and I have, several hundred on Facebook, and I post a lot of evenings.
Okay.
And so I've got a good following there, Instagram as well. And I wanted to see how it rolls out, because they have planned some openings, signings, and I have a few locations in town where I live.
Mm-hmm.
See how it goes, test the market there. And that's why I'm on a show here, to have a website, to be able to have prints for sale, to have the photos placed on aluminum, metal, which I've done as closing gifts because I'm a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
So I know how to market certain things. And they say, boy, I wish I had one of these. And so I just had a big one made for myself, and landscape.
Awesome.
And
you should, by the way, you should, just going forward, because you are a realtor, every single solitary home that you sell, you should stage with your artwork. I don't know why you're not doing that. I would totally do that. And do you know what's amazing?
Well, that's why I'm on the show, Patrick.
Do you know what's amazing too, Jeff? Is, and then I want to tell you something about the book. And then just because Monique was on and she got cut off, Monique, I'll get to you next. One, there is nothing greater in the history of mankind than buying a house in which you include the price of the artwork in a 30-year loan. Do you know how much that takes away the purchase shock? Oh my gosh, is it glorious, right? It's no different than throwing the furniture into the purchase loan. So I would, not every house is going to be a perfect fit for you, right? But some are, right? And you say, hey, I've got these 25 pieces. Let me sex this thing up a little bit. And you're going to get the commission if it sells anyway. And then you just let the buyers, look, all the art in here is for sale. Anything that you want to include, we can include it. So that's an option. That's number one. That's just a good idea, period. Number two, I want you to get at least a few. You can do it with a book giveaway, but I'd rather you have some prints too. For every in-person event that you do for the book, I want you to run a contest, okay? And the contest is going to be to win a free print, and entrance into the contest is just that they put their first name, last name, and email address on a clipboarded, spreadsheet type of paper. After each appearance, give away the free print, and then give everyone else a discount store-wide on anything. If you can't get there, the book's already ready to go. But do not, the takeaways, do not miss out on the opportunity to potentially capture all of those leads to market to once you do get your site live and ready.
One thing I was concerned about, I'm a novice photographer now.
Okay.
I guess I've been doing sunsets for well over 10 years now. And, I got started by another fellow photographer who I happen to sponsor or own art and photography for women.
Okay.
And
you're probably out of the novice category, by the way, if you've been doing this for 10 years, but I appreciate the humility.
Well, because I don't want to say anything with real photographers using these big cameras, and I have one myself, but I'll be very honest. I've put the book out, the photos, 3 different models of Samsung phones. And I even contacted Samsung, see if they'd be interested in somehow working together on something. I'm going to have one of the openings in a phone store in my town.
Cool.
All photos done. You could do it yourself, point and shoot, play around. And my worry was the pixels. How big would I be able to make the canvas or metal prints based on megapixels?
Yeah,
and,
you could. I'm sure you can still go pretty big. Our system tells you, which is cool, but you upload the image and it'll tell you right away what size that it can go to based on what you have going on.
And that's on the artstorefront.com site.
Yeah, well, you would need to have a website with this, but I think you can actually do it on asfprints.com too. Try it there. April put the link in the chat. But even then, there's like really, really good software now that didn't exist 10 years ago that allows you to upsize images. So that's a possibility too.
Yeah, I was sent a link by a gentleman from Art Store, and to see about just that, to see how well they look in different sizes. And I just had one delivered from another manufacturer. It was maybe 11 by 17. It looked pretty sharp.
Awesome.
So that's what I'm dabbling with now. And at some point, I'm just going to jump in and do it. And I don't care if it's a mistake the first time, like you said, just throw it against the wall and see what sticks.
You have to. It's the only way you learn.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Yeah, and congrats on the book. I'm fired up for you. Good luck on that. Okay, Monique, it literally paused right when you were going to tell your story, right when you were like, and I ran my first one. It was like the perfect cutout. Okay, tell me. I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, so I was saying that I'm still beaming from yesterday doing my live art show. And what I did was I had my laptop set up, and then I used my phone for Instagram.
What? You did both? You're not messing around on the first go around? That's impressive. Yeah.
Yes. And then I used my son's phone for Facebook, or the vice versa. I use my phone for Facebook and use his for Instagram.
Okay.
And so we did that, and I had 3 people show up to the live, and then people were doing the replays, and I got a lot of positive feedback on the actual experience from the live, and I did get one sale.
Hey.
But I got a sale from it. So I just wanted to say thank you, and for anybody else that's questioning it, it really is like you just do it, and it's like, wow, I did it. And I'm ready to do the next one. So I just wanted to say thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm so stoked for you did it. So this like always happens, right? Like I get some variation of I was super nervous, I was terrified, but I psyched myself up. I just did it, and it ended up kind of being fun, right? They have the same reaction that you do. And then do you know what I say? Now go do 1,000 of them. Not kidding. It's the future. It's absolutely the future. That's why I'm telling you to go do 1,000 of them. Like, with each one, you just get better and better and better and better and better. And by the way, I practice what I preach, right? I'm doing these things 5, sometimes 6 days a week myself, and I keep getting better and I keep learning. And if I was hooked up to like a heart rate monitor in the beginning, the spikes probably would have been insane. Now, dog can be rustling around, kids banging on the door, gardener outside, tech things are breaking in and out, and I'm just cool. I'm just smooth. I've done so many of them, I just don't care anymore. But it's 100% the future, and we talk about it in the context of art. It's perfect for art. It's amazing for art, but we're not the only ones figuring it out, right? Like, what was Instagram's new feature update this week? Now, when you go live, you can import a product directly in there, and you can have the product ready to go and ready to be sold. Now, Facebook and Instagram are sort of leading off with like the makeup brands and fashion brands, right? But all of this is just taking a cue from China, and China, for one reason or another, just got way, way, way ahead of the game on this. And now, like, every single venture capitalist, the ones that write all the checks for the tech community, every single solitary one of them has some sort of live commerce enabled this, that, or the other in their portfolio. It's just the future. So you keep doing them, keep selling your pieces. Don't just take those likes and comments and shares, though. Be like, okay, make me an offer. You take PayPal, you take Venmo, you're ready to go. Send me a DM, I'll send you a PayPal, like right there, right? Like don't be afraid to ask for the sale. Go. I think I have to unmute you again because you muted yourself. Hold on, let me get it. Let me find you. Okay, there, I got you. Okay, you're unmuted again.
I just wanted to say that you mentioned earlier about being able to laugh at yourself, and there was one point when I was showing off the my phone case that I made, and I was looking for my phone, and so I just busted out laughing. I was like, "Y'all, I'm looking for my phone, but I'm using my phone."
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share that as well.
Oh, that's the best. Has anyone seen my hat? Sir, it's on the top of your head.
Right.
Oh, it's so good. Good stuff. Send me a link to the one you did. I want to see it.
Okay.
Yeah, or just put your Instagram handle in the chat and I'll have April track it down. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, you needed the encouragement to get it over the line. Now that you have gotten it over the line, it's awesome. And then also, you know, once you start doing them consistently, what you'll find is, yeah, you're starting with friends and family because that's naturally who follows you, but they didn't really know that you had stuff for sale, right? And what ends up happening, this is how art sells in the real world, contrast to what everyone else thinks. Monique went and ran this thing on Facebook and Instagram with the iPhone case. All of her friends were laughing and everything else. One of her friends, who she sees occasionally but follows her on social media, sometime in the next 2 weeks is going to sit down at a coffee shop with an old friend to catch up. And the old friend's going to be like, "Oh, did you hear? I just moved out of such and such house into a new one. So I'm looking for furniture and everything else, and I need to get some art." And then this friend is going to go, "Wait, you have no idea. You got to check out my friend Monique." And all of a sudden they're going to follow you on Instagram, and then they're going to go see a live art show, and then the art is going to be sold. That's how it happens in the real world, right? Contrary to what everyone thinks. So keep doing them. Keep doing them.
I will. Thank you.
Thanks, Monique. Okay, Ed, you're up next. Go ahead, Ed. And I see the questions in the chat too. I'll get back to those. Don't worry.
Actually, I think you just kind of answered the question. I only have, you know, maybe 70 followers on Facebook.
Yeah.
So feels like I'm starting from nowhere. I used to do art shows and all that, but like you said, I didn't take care of my list.
Yep.
And so I'm starting from zero. It seems like doing an art show for 70 people is kind of like doing an MLM presentation to your family. You know?
Yeah, it feels that way. The good news is that because you have so few people on there, almost no one will see it, right? Like literally the only one's going to watch is your mom, right? That's what the same thing I say every time. And that's okay. It's totally okay because everyone thinks, and you don't learn this until you start running them, but everyone thinks, we're trained to think whatever the origination of the word is, right? And when we say art show, what does that make us think about? The in-person event with everything hung up and the promotions and going through that whole song and dance. And so what that does is it creates a paradigm in our head that says the actual event is the whole event. That's where the whole thing goes down. But in this digital context, nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's as important before, hey, I'm going to have this live art show. Here's all the pieces. I'm giving you the playbook essentially that we use and we run. And I don't care because no one ever copies it. I'm happy to give this store away. Let's say you're going to run the live art show on a Wednesday, right? On Sunday, if you kept up that list, Ed, I'm not blaming you. No one ever has. You email all of your collectors on Sunday and you say, "Hey, collectors, thank you so much for your continued patronage and for supporting me in the past. I just want to let you know I'm having a live art show on Wednesday. Because you guys have supported me, you obviously get first look at it. So here it is. Here's everything that's going to be in the live art show. If you want any of it, you can buy it," right? That's event number one. Event number two, a secret is we turn the sale on before the live art show even happens. So all the pieces are on a page and anyone can come in and buy it before the show even runs. The show runs, you get whoever you get, they buy whatever they buy in the show. After the fact, more and more and more people see it because it's in your social media feed, and then you email it to everyone that would care, and you get a whole bunch of other people to watch it. Collectively, the entire event, instead of a main course, is like sitting down at a tapas bar or just ordering appetizers. Each one is just as important for the entire meal. I'm serious. And so, you know, don't worry. Just like I'm gonna say, like, don't worry if you only have 70 people on there. I know that's like terrifying on some level, but you would be surprised. None of these people know that you're back in the game, right? None of these people know that you have stuff for sale, and they might just need something.
So, some technical questions.
Yeah.
I have my own website. I've had it for years, and it sounds like you have your own platform.
Yeah.
Is there a way to either use my domain name for your platform?
Yes. You just point the domain name right over.
Okay.
And so the way that it works is that we give you this fully featured website, but you own everything, right? So it's basically you just pointing your domain to this new install, and then all your stuff would be in there.
All right. Is there a way to embed art storefront into my existing site?
No, but your existing site's not doing any business for you anyway, so you don't need it, right? Like you can leave it there. You can leave it there. You could still even pay for it and have it as a fail safe if you like. But the reality is that it's not effective at selling your work, right? You know that already. And more importantly than that, you don't really have a website problem. You have a marketing problem, right? Now, it helps when you have our website that makes it easy to sell and has all the bells and whistles and gives you all these features and everything else. But we got to fix the marketing problem, right? Like that's the number one most important thing. But again, I know we all get married to our old websites and I put so much time and energy and effort into it, but then you ask yourself, is it doing anything for you? And the answer is no. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here otherwise. I already know. So, yeah.
Thanks for your help.
Yeah. I would go see a demo, Ed, before you make any decisions or whatever else, and then you can see all the bells and whistles and we have so many features. I can't even begin to tell you. I always, the point of this session is less about a sales pitch and more about like a set of circumstances that I believe that you need to understand to be successful in this business, right? Selling direct, keeping a collector list, marketing consistently, and understanding that your biggest problem is a marketing problem. What I do a disservice to our business is not talking about all the bells and whistles and features that we have, which are insane. They're amazing. It's incredible what you can do. Like, and we don't really have any competition in that regard because there hasn't really been anyone that's invested heavily in building an art and photography, wall art specific selling site, over years and years and years. So the sheer number of bells and whistles we have are staggering. I should probably show it off more often. I'm going to make a note to do that. But anyway, you should see the demo. It can help.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
But that brings up another question.
Yeah.
Then do you bring more audience to arts?
No, not at all. Not one bit. But we teach you how to.
Okay.
And that's the whole point. We teach you how to the whole time. I mean, I think fundamental in what we believe is in order for an artist or photographer to make it and have a business that grows year over year and have a business that is not going to be affected by the vicissitudes of fate and everything else that happens, i.e. COVID, i.e. whatever else, you have to own your own attention, right? And so when you go somewhere else to generate that attention for you, i.e. a retail gallery in your town, right? They're responsible for the attention essentially, i.e. one of the online galleries, they're responsible for the attention and the eyeballs. You fundamentally are not ever going to know who they are because none of those people tell you who's buying. And therein breaks the entire thing, right? Like, you have to be cultivating this collector list year over year over year. If you do that, the business grows year over year over year. If you don't know who it is, it's a tenant-farmer relationship, right? You might get paid a couple of bucks here. They might drive some attention, but you might get a roof over your head and a meal now and again. But when you leave with the shirt on your back and nothing else. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable if you want to make it in this business. So that's sort of the point of this session. But we do teach you, and the first year usually sucks for most people because you have to learn how to market. You've never marketed consistently. You're going to get out of your comfort zone and do some things that you don't like to do: email marketing, capturing emails, social media posts, running live art shows, running sales. But the incentive to do so has never been higher. I believe that this particular industry, without question, is having its it's having its taxi cab Uber moment. It's having its blockbuster Netflix moment, right? And all of the traditional venues in which art and photography are sold is just utterly, totally, and completely being disrupted by technology and everything that's come in. Is everything from the e-commerce sales to these live art shows. The point is that you can grow and have a significant business in which you are retaining all the revenue and all the information on customers. There's never been a better time, right? Like I always go back to my one buddy's sale, and we all talk about like, oh, it would be so wonderful to have an international business, right? Like on some level we all strive to have an international business. I have so many windows open I can't even find the one. Here it is. Hold on, let me find it.
Texture on it.
So this guy, he lives in Canada, right? He lives in Laval in Canada, and Canada's sort of a bad comparison because it's like, okay, it's America's hat. It's just up there. We're essentially one, we're all North Americans, right? But he had these two shows, okay? And this was, again, these are these works that were in his basement, right? Quite literally in his basement. And so they were old works, but he, no joke, sold 62 pieces over a 15-day period. And when he was done, he had to ship into his native Canada. He had to ship into the United States. He had to ship a few pieces to Europe. He had to ship a few pieces to Mexico, one to Central America, and two to Asia. And I look at that, and you look at that, and you're like, whoa, that didn't used to be possible, right? Like, that's not normal. Like, that is truly a global business in which, in terms of the creation of the asset, all he has to do is be inspired and go down there and then do his marketing and have that reach. That's just phenomenal. So there's so many incredible upsides to now being the greatest time ever to be an artist. And while that's true, I don't want to sugarcoat it. I don't know of any other way to be successful unless you figure out how to solve the marketing problem, right? And you either do it yourself or you pay to have it done, right? And we actually offer the pay to have it done service too, because some people don't want to do it themselves. But it has to be done. It has to be done. The sheer percentage that are making a significant living, okay, using the gallery model, whether retail brick and mortar or whether online, it's 0.06%. It's like it's less than 0.1%, right? There's this book I really like. It's called the $20,000 Stuffed Shark, the Curious Case of the Contemporary Art Market, something like that. Great book. It's on Amazon. It's 10 years old. They have a stat in there, and it's like there are 40,000 artists in. Oh, thank you, April. I appreciate you. So I'm going to pull it up so I can just show it. This is a mega fascinating read. Mega fascinating read. The $12 million Stuffed Shark. And it was like 10 years ago now, so you kind of have to adjust, right, for inflation and everything else. But they have this line in the book about 40,000 artists in residence in New York, 40,000 residents in London. So out of the 80,000, the ones that are making over $1 million a year was 0.06. Okay, 0.06. The ones that were making between 100,000 and $1 million a year was 0.12. So now we're at like still not even barely over 0.1%. And then the ones that were making just a little bit below six figures, okay, takes the whole percentage up to like 6%. 6% out of the 80,000 were making something called a living, right? And not even at the bottom end of it. And so I don't see any other way that's feasible if you really want to monetize your creative talent than to do the marketing yourself and build that portion of the business. So that's my rant on it.
Oh, thanks for your insight.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I do internet and search engine optimization and stuff for web businesses, but not for art. Art's always been way harder to sell than
way harder to sell. Yeah. And the good news is that search engine optimization by and large for art is an utter total and complete waste of time. So that's not how art is purchased. It's just not. Yeah. You know, if you and don't get me wrong, there's certain little niche products aside where it doesn't follow the rule, but as a generality, people are not saying, I need a painting of a rose, and typing into Google painting of a rose and then buying the art on the spot. It's not how art is sold. Right. They're finding rose artists on Instagram, and then they're following them, and then 3 months later they're ready to buy, and then they buy, right? So the point is it's actually kind of reassuring that the search engine optimization portion of it, you don't even need to waste a minute of your time on. It's worthless for the most part. So you can focus on the social media marketing. So that's an important thing.
Great. Well, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure, Ed. Good questions. Okay, so if there's more questions you guys want to raise your hands, you can raise your hands. I know I saw in the chat, Bill, how to tease a live show in advance. Hey guys, just to let you know, I'm having a live art show on Wednesday at 6 p.m. You can tune in on Facebook or Instagram. Email everyone you know that on Sunday night or Friday or Monday before. Done. You've teased it. Who is it that was sending me the direct messages about pricing? Yeah, Lena, if you're still on there, I think Lena's she can't unmute because she's dealing with her kid, of which I am well familiar. Just send me an email, Lena, and I'm happy to talk to you about it. I think she does sculptures, but we can talk about that. High price point items, and just in the grand scheme of things, Lena, nothing changes when you're doing the high price point items at all. Literally nothing changes. It's the same playbook, and you know, if you're doing sculptures, that your shipping is a headache. But that aside, nothing changes. The only thing that changes when you get into the high price points is the sheer amount of negotiation that goes down, right? That's one of the things that I love talking about, because a lot of what we do is teach artists and photographers how to run sales, right? And sales are fundamental to human behavior and getting us to take action. But I love talking about my buddy here, right? And this was this show he had. Oh, the thing's the wrong size. Shoot. It's not so easy to resize this thing on the fly. Anyway, this was this show he had. It was a huge show, okay? And it was the normal dog and pony show in which painted for 9 months, had the gallery, opening night, second opening night, performance art, live music in there, the bartender, super ritzy gallery, the whole deal. And I love telling this story because I helped him on the playbook for the marketing for this. And the show, the piece, the way that he priced the pieces is where like all of them were doggone it. Why is everything sized wrong today? It's typical Friday nonsense. All of the pieces were priced based on the size that they were, okay? Based on the size that they were. And phenomenal show, phenomenal works. And this is the leading image that he had on like all the marketing. And we're getting ready to do the show, and he's like, I see the price on this, and I think the price was like $25,000 for this one, right? And I'm like, his name's Matthew, the artist. I was like, Matthew, we can't charge $25,000 for this one, okay? This is the piece that you're leading with and all the marketing material for the show. It's the banner piece, right? Like this thing needs to be priced higher. And so he's like, okay, I agree with you, but we have to talk to the gallery owner. So I get the gallery owner on the phone, and it's he and I and the gallery owner in a conference call, and I was like, listen to me, trust me, okay? The numbers are irrelevant. It's just human psychology and marketing. We have to raise the price on this thing to 35. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Raise the price to 35 on it, right? Opening goes through, a whole bunch of pieces sell. This one didn't opening night. And a couple nights after opening night, a collector was there. A collector came back and said, I'm really interested in this piece, but there's no way I'm giving you 35 for it. I'll give you 27 for it. And the gallery owner's like, okay, fine, deal. So just by raising the price $12,000 and coming down the $12,000 or whatever it is, $8,000, I guess, he ended up getting more for it than he would have originally. But the point is that like, what is the $8,000 off of a $35,000 piece, right? Like 8 divided by 35 times 100, 22%. So that was a 22% off sale, right? Like the higher, I don't even know why I went on this rant, but the higher price points you go, the more negotiation there is. And once you get into like, you know, the over 50,000 to $1 million, then the negotiation just becomes savage because high net worth people did not get there by paying retail for absolutely anything. Where did I go on that? Oh, I think because she sent me about $10,000 pieces. But anyway, we could talk another time about it and get into it. But what else, guys? Questions? Anyone else? Can be about anything? Anything about anything? Doesn't matter to me. Walter Rivera Santos, I like your hat and that image, by the way, as I'm just looking at the grid. Huge fan of the tropical, I don't know, blanking on the name of the hat, fedora type of hat. I got a whole bunch of them. All right. Okay. Well, I think you guys are done with questions. So as a final, I would say, if today piqued your interest and you're like, okay, this is interesting, they seem to know what they're talking about, go see a demo so you can look and see at all the bells and whistles, look and see if you think we're a good fit. If you do think we're a good fit, sign up immediately so that you can get your site up and get going, get a sale on the water before Black Friday. Yes, there's absolutely still time. We even have services, if you don't want to do anything, that they'll build everything for you. I don't know how backed up those things are now, but it is certainly a possibility because, again, you guys do not let this month go by without taking a shot. Take a shot. This is the 1 month to take a shot. Period. So that's what I would say. Trying to think what else. Oh, April, will you also, I also have a really, really good video that I just made that I'm really proud of that I want you guys to watch on merchandising. And it's Merchandising 101 and a way to think about merchandising. I don't know if you have that link handy, April. Otherwise, you want me to find it. I'll find it. If you beat me to it. Did you already beat me to it? Doggone, April, you are fast. You are fast. I want you guys to watch this. I'm not kidding. I'm really, really proud of this thing, how it came out. I promise it's not shameless plug, self-promotion. I got it in the wrong window. I feel like all of my technologies are just going squirrely today. How long is this thing? How long is it? Is it 20 minutes? I think it's 20 minutes. 31 minutes. Okay, it's a little long-winded, but you know what? powerful rant on here about merchandising and how important merchandising is and how you need to think about showing your art on your social media sites and in your emails and how you go about it. So definitely watch that video. That's also a really, really, really good follow-up video. Straight fire. And everything else, guys, we will email to you. Thanks so much for spending some time with me on a Friday. If you're interested, get a demo. If you're not ready, run live art shows like Bill, who's going to do this weekend, and like Monique is probably going to do this weekend because she had so much fun. She's going to get another one in. And other than that, I hope everyone has an absolutely fantastic weekend. Stay safe. Have a good Halloween. And I will see you guys hopefully on the inside or in a future session. Thanks.